don't know yet, but what a field of race cars we have. I'll tell you, no need to look up on the porch tonight because all the big dogs are here.
Thanks a lot, Dave. With 100 laps on tap, yeah, tire preparation will be key. Which way do you go here tonight? Well, that's the magical question. If you have the answer to that one, we just might be able to hand you a check for $50,000 at the end of the night. Well, another very important item is obviously going to be heat races. These guys are going to beat and bang hard, Rob.
6 heat races, 12 laps in distance, top 3 to the show as we had some trouble down on lap number 1 of heat number 1. A handful of cars getting together. Joe Arms in the 77 was on the pole, but we see Wayne Chin involved, Justin Ratliff, also Jesse Lane, the 33-point leader here at Florence, the 10G of Brandon Green. As we got back underway, Joe Arms, your pole sitter, having to try and fend off your current point leader.
Scott Bloomquist with the 0 car, obviously also set fast time for the evening, so on his game, Joe Arms managing to stay in front of one of the best, though, so far.
Yeah, Tim McCready in car number 39 would pick up that third and final transfer spot, so Joe Arms, Scott Bloomquist, and T-Mac would move on to the big A-main here tonight.
The rest of the guys obviously to the B. Let's go to heat race number 2. Things are only going to heat up more as they try to get up there to that A-main.
Brad Neat in the 41 alongside Don O'Neill in the 70 would take him to turn number 1. There is Jimmy Mars in the 28. You can see the track very racy here early at Florence.
Brian Burkhoff also back there trying to work his way up. Tim Prince with his fair share of problems in the P1. They'd get him restarted one more time. The real deal, Don O'Neill got up to a great start, but everybody behind him had a mess. Brad Neat, Brian Burkhoff were caught up in the pile.
We got back underway. Mars would finish in that third spot, doing a great job. But out in front, Don O'Neill would pick up the win and find a ticket into tonight's.
Stay there and earn one of those transfer spots, along with the very tough Jimmy Mars. Everybody else, once again, to the B main. We'll have more heat race action when we come back. Yeah, the North-South 100, not only does it bring out the best racers, it brings out some of the best fans.
Did you know today's engine technology requires a more consistent oil pressure for maximum performance? Lucas Pure Synthetic Oil Stabilizer is a brand new product designed to stand up to high RPMs and temperatures of today's new car engines. Raise and stabilize oil pressure for smoother idling and improved performance. Reduce engine noise and provide maximum protection. Lucas Pure Synthetic Oil Stabilizer. Light enough for an import, tough enough for a semi.
We now offer phone service for $1.70 a month with MagicJack. That's just $19.95 a year. $19.95 a year. We give you free local and long distance and your own phone number. Replace your phone company or add a second line with MagicJack.
Welcome to Progressive.com. You must be looking for motorcycle insurance.
You're good.
Thanks. So is our bike insurance. All the coverage you need at a great price.
Cool.
Hold on, cowboy. I'm not done. For less than $1 a month, you also get 24/7 roadside assistance.
Right on.
Yeah.
Sounds like you ride a 500.
More like a 900 V-twin.
Excuse me.
Well, you're excused.
The right insurance for your ride. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Don't miss your only chance to see these treasures cross the block live. Barrett Jackson live coverage begins January 19th, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
Geico Power Sports. We feel your passion.
The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is brought to you by E3 Spark Plugs with Diamond Fire Technology. R&L Carriers, one call, one carrier. And by Super Clean, not just clean, super clean. Awesome area here in Union, Kentucky. Of course, tonight it's all about the Sunoco Race Fuels North-South 100, presented by R&L Carriers. Let's go to heat race number 3. Again, some tough competitors, including one Josh Richards inside of this one. But again, we would have trouble on lap 1.
So a lot of mayhem here on the early laps in these heat races because everybody wants to try and get to the show.
It's tough when they're only taking 3 and you're in the back, man. You want to get up there. When you're in the front, you want to clear them. Speaking of being in front, that is R.J. Conley. Then the battle for second between Dale McDowell and Dustin Neat. Of course, they're battling right behind them as well for the transfer spot, but it was about to get ugly.
Yeah, Eddie Carrier Jr. in the 28 gets into the rear bumper of McDowell. He goes around, and he'll collect the 23 of John Blankenship, roughing it up here early.
Then it was Kid Rocket in the number 1 car, Josh Richards, who takes over second place from Dustin Neat. Obviously, that would get him into the show. Then we go back to our leader, R.J. Conley, who had checked out, followed by Josh Richards and Dustin Neat as you take a look at the top 3 once again.
Yeah, Scott James, John Blankenship, Eddie Carrier, the rest of the field will have to go to one of the B mains tonight. We move on to heat race number 4.
4 of 6, and once again, they'll get things going here. The 44 car, Earl Pearson Jr., second in points coming into this event, needing to get into that A main and a good shot at it to try and catch up with Bloomquist.
Yeah, EPJ would get around the 31 of Skip Arp to take the lead. He would pretty much check out here in heat race number 4. See that 31, that is Arp. Pearson would get the win. Arp would come home in that second spot.
R&L Carrier's results for heat race number 4, Earl Pearson Jr., Skip Arp, and then Darrell Lanigan rounds out the top 3. Wendell Wallace, Ray Cook. How about that? Shannon Babb, some pretty big names down in there that did not make the transfer. Let's go to heat 5.
Steve Francis on the pole alongside Steve Shaver, one of the local boys here in Union, Kentucky. They would put on a show for the lead. Francis in the 11F. We're used to seeing him in that 19 car, but he's still getting it done down low.
Yeah, and Shaver knows his way around here. He's actually won this event a couple of times, so you have to keep an eye on the 30 car here all night long as he takes the lead. Yeah, good battle going on back here as well as Jimmy Owens is trying to get into second place.
Yeah, the Newport Nightmare started third, running in that third spot, trying to get to the inside of the Kentucky Colonel, Steve Francis. Well, now he'll try that outside group. He would try and make it work, but all alone out in front, it was showtime. Steve Shaver to pick up the win here in Heat 5.
Great battle there for second place, but it was Steve Francis that would maintain the spot. And then, of course, Jimmy Owens rounded out the top 3. Steve Casebolt also in the hunt for the points back in the pile. Matt Miller and Dan Sleeper along with John Mason into the B.
We move to our 6th and final heat race. It would find the Bartman, Bart Hartman alongside Eric Wells in row number 1. Some great side-by-side 3-wide action as a battle for the lead down in lap number 1.
Definitely leaning on these guys. Billy Moyer, Mr. Smooth down there in the bottom, watching those top 2 guys go at it. As long as he was safely into the transfer spot was all that really mattered.
Eric Wells would take the lead on the 75 of Bart Hartman. And again, Billy Moyer in that 21 runs in that third spot. Now Hartman having to worry about Mr. Smooth.
2 of the best up there in the top 3 hanging on to those spots, and then the battle for 6th got ugly.
Yeah, Mike Marlar and Eric Jacobson. Marlar in front. Jacobson would get into his rear bumper, spin around the 157. Almost a spin to win or a spin not to win. A lot of damage as the 5-car Eric Jacobson would make the pass. Yeah, a lot of damage there on that 157.
We'll go back to our leaders. Yeah, here comes Billy Moyer. That's how you make the pass without getting into the back of him. Spectacular job out of the 21 car as he goes around Wells.
Yeah, Wells there running that middle line. Moyer got it done, picking up the win in heat race number 6, his 12th heat race win in 2009. Hartman and Wells would also punch the time card and move on to tonight's A main.
So a lot of racing action there in our first 6 heat races. When we come back, not only will we have some more dirt late model racing, we will have the A main for you.
Tonight, it's a car-crushing, high-flying extravaganza on Speed for the first time ever. Live Monster Jam and Supercross back-to-back. Gravedigger leads Monster Jam into Atlanta for a no-holds-barred rampage. Then James Stewart, Chad Reed, and the Rebels of Supercross bring anarchy to the season opener in Anaheim. Live tonight, it's Monster Jam at 7 p.m. Eastern and Monster Energy ENA Supercross at 10 Eastern, only on Speed.
Re-expressed, refashioned. Reconnected. designed to reignite the soul. The all-new 2010 SRX, the Cadillac of crossovers.
Mr. Owen, the transmission is going to be a lot more expensive than I thought.
Really, it's not
big job. It's going to take at least a week or so. You might want to consider a rental car. I mean, parts alone are going to run $1,900, and then you add 13.
It's okay, man. I've got Mogi. Free rental car and sushi with my girl at 7.
Don't let expensive repairs hold you back. Get Mogi, extended vehicle protection customized just for you. Insurance covers accidents, but what if your car breaks down? Mogi is the other half of coverage, protecting you from expensive repairs. Just take your car to a licensed repair shop and we pay the bill. It's that simple. We're not like the other guys. Mogi gives you real benefits that give you peace of mind. Visit our website and get the facts. Log on and get a real quote in writing before you buy. Cars break down. It's a fact. But with Mogi, you can keep your car and be worry-free. Call now and ask how you can save hundreds of dollars on coverage. Mogi. Life warrants more.
Don't wait. Call 1-888-783-0314. That's 1-888-783-0314.
Welcome back to Florence Speedway for the Sunoco Race Fuels North-South 100, presented by R&L Carriers. The fans jacked up, ready to go. Of course, the cars lined up for the A main. This is a look at the results from the B main. Will Vaught and Clint Smith making it from B main number 1.
Yeah, Scott James, Blankenship, a lot of good drivers not able to work their way into the feature. B main number 2, Mike Jewell and Wendell Wallace made it in. You see Ray Cook, Steve Casebolt, Jerry Rice, some of the local guys unable to make the show.
Okay, time now for the A main. This is the big one, man. 100 lapper, $50,000 on the line. A look at the points. Scott Bloomquist is yet to win a race. The 4-time champ right behind him.
Well, let's take a look at the General Tires starting grid here tonight for the North-South 100. The 77 of Joe Arms, who got his second career Lucas Oil win earlier this year, will start on the pole.
Pearson, O'Neill, Shaver, a 2-time winner of this event, all right behind him, along with Billy Moyer, Scott Bloomquist back there in row number 4, Steve Francis, Bart Hartman, I mean, you name it, T-Mac in there, Lanigan, they're all coming after him, baby. It's the best of the best.
Jimmy Mars, Jimmy Owens back there as well. Will Vaught, who laid down quick time at the Diamond Nationals earlier this year inside row 10. Jerry Rice and Brad Neat getting provisionals. They will start scratching row 13, but they got 100 laps to try and get to the front.
And that's the beauty of this race. It's long enough you can make a run from the back of the pack. Bart Hartman aims down in there from the inside of the second row, but it's Joe Arms that leads him to the stripe. Ooh, EPJ has to hang on and loses a couple spots in the process.
Yeah, I think he got a little help there off turn 4. Someone got in the rear bumper, got a little squirrely, but it looks like we are clean and green here in tonight's running of the North-South 100.
Well, when the green flag flies, baby, it's go time. I don't know if Earl Pearson Jr. spun the tire, and maybe he just can't get off the turn because he's wadding him up back in there.
Yeah, I think that car is just extremely tight. Look at it, will not turn, and he gets passed by 4 cars in a hurry as we go on board.
Not unlike these guys is set up to come in late in the race, and his late in the race setup just is not working right now. That's obvious. Billy Moyer just ahead of him. Boy, big, gigantic hole going into turn number 1 there, as once again we go on board with Earl Pearson Jr. Earl working it pretty hard right there, trying to keep pace. Scott Bloomquist back there in 5th place as he gets a little clear racing room. Let's go on board with him.
Yeah, that's the 31 of Skip Arp, known as the Professor, right behind him. Battle for that 5th position.
Kind of settling in here now just a little bit. Looks like the bottom might be slicking off, and of course they'll get all the way down to the bottom, get those left side tires down there in the good stuff.
Very fun track to visit, folks. If you're ever in the area, half-mile, high-banked, tight corners, makes for some great racing. And you can see, still pretty good entering the corner, but right there on that low line, starting to slick off.
Earl Pearson Jr. now looking a little bit better, maybe a little bit of heat in those tires. Quite possibly just cold. Bart Hartman back there with the 75 car. Of course, finished 2nd in the points a year ago.
Battle for that 7th spot. Again, Steve Francis in that 11F. Billy Moyer go back for 9th. Earl Pearson Jr. and again the 75 of Hartman.
And you look at these veterans, man, they know how to set up so these cars will come in late in the race. But that typically means you're going to give up something at the front end of the race.
Well, we talked about EPJ. That thing was pushing big time early for him, and the professor Skip Art almost into the rear bumper there, Scott Bloomquist.
Yeah, that crease in the left front bumper, left front fender, if you will, I'm sure didn't get there by itself. So these guys are trying to maintain as much momentum as possible without getting into the guy in front of them.
And we mentioned Bloomquist, the current point leader with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. No wins this year, 13 top 5s, 20 top 10s, has a 165-point lead. We saw the graphic over Earl Pearson Jr. trying to knock EPJ off the top spot.
And by the way, that yellow device on his belt right there on his chest, that's a race receiver so that the race director can talk to him, tell him what position he needs to be in on a restart. They do not have spotters or any other radio communication with a crew member.
Back up front for the lead, that is the real deal. Don O'Neill trying to get to the inside of Joe Arms. O'Neill with 2 Lucas Oil wins earlier this year. They already got that move over flag out.
O'Neill, always a tough competitor. Talk about a game face, man. That guy gets crazy with this stuff. Right down underneath the 9 car, sliding in, beautiful. Looks like his thing's really working well for him.
Yeah, and I think right now you want to be the 71. You don't want to be the leader because O'Neill can kind of use some of these lap cars as a pick to try and take over the lead from Arms. I mean, Arms is out there in the 77. He's just trying to go where he can to get by these lappers.
We talk about it all the time. It's awesome to watch the guys with the cars that are working well pick their way through traffic. And typically the guys in the back of the pack are working way harder than the guys in the front of the pack because they're fighting with a car that just doesn't handle right.
Yeah, and they know when they see that move over the flag, the leaders are coming. And speaking of the leaders, we could have a new one. Don O'Neill looking to the inside off turn number 4 in the 71. Wow.
Nothing more disheartening than getting lapped, you know, especially at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, they're racing for position, but then again, they don't want to screw up the leaders because at some point it's going to change. They're going to be the leaders, and they're going to want lap cars to move out of the way. As we go back to Earl Pearson Jr. and Mr. Smooth, Billy Moyer battling for 8th spot.
Yeah, of course, the 4-time champion Earl Pearson Jr. back there just trying to hang on. Boy, he started off very, very rough, but now it's kind of settled in. When you see him get down there on the bottom, that means he's going to work, and that's where he's at. Orange tape on the steering wheel indicates center for him or dead straight.
Yeah, that is the 11F of Steve Francis right in front of him. I should say right next to him now as EPJ looks to the low line, and Francis has been driving through the holes on the outside part of the racetrack. And Earl Pearson Jr., and no shocker there, he's running low.
The Hurricane loves it down there, and the Kentucky Colonel, it's hard to pick him out for a lot of the fans that have been watching for so many years. Completely different colors on the car tonight, and of course a different number as well. Great racing action out here. There is your General Tire top 5. Joe Arms leading some of the best in the business. When we come back, we'll continue on. $50,000 on the line. Stay with us.
Don't miss your only chance to see these treasures cross the block live. Barrett-Jackson live coverage begins January 19th, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
Welcome to the Car Detailing World Championships, where the Beachtown Buffers will take on Sylvia. And they're off! Look at the Buffers with all their stuff, while Sylvia just uses her Lucas Slick Mist to easily detail her car. This isn't even a fair fight, folks. She just sprays and wipes. And the winner is Sylvia.
I just want to thank Lucas Slick Mist for making this victory so easy.
Next week.
One of you will be the next American Idol.
Be there when the next generation of talent takes the Idol stage.
Some people have got it, and I think you may have it.
American Idol. They all start somewhere. Premieres next week on Fox.
No shortage of working tires out here in this style of racing, and especially tonight, tires will be everything. The 44 car, Earl Pearson Jr., the 11 car, Steve Francis on the outside. both guys with literally hundreds of feature wins trying to scrap their way back up into the top 5.
So working lap number 20 right now is 19 are in the books. On board for the first time at the Newport Nightmare, Jimmy Owens, former winner of this event, currently running in that 13th spot. I think he's got one hand going.
Absolutely, off the throttle for a long time there, and you can see how smooth it was, just rotating, counter steering a little bit there with the left hand, and nice and smooth, man. Did a really nice job. Here he comes underneath Josh Richards. That's the 20 car down low, trying to get some bite.
Yeah, Jimmy Owens right now third in Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series points, going side by side with Kid Rocket. We mentioned the Ralph Latham Memorial earlier. Owens won it earlier this year.
Here is the battle for the lead, the 71 car. The real deal, Don O'Neill trying to get past the 77 car of Joe Arms right down on the bottom, trying to get some bite. Does he have enough? Pulls up beside him. Looks like he's going to go in ahead of him right there at the entry of the turn. Hold on, baby. Lapper right in front of him. Good stuff early on.
Well, you can see O'Neill slamming on the brakes there so he doesn't get into the 77 of Joe Arms. So showing a little bit of respect, but now he clears him. And Jerry Rice pulls into the infield, one of the locals here at this racetrack. We are still clean and green. Slide Job City for the lead.
That's it. Had plenty of room that time. Goes up high. Can he get a run that he needs? Yes, he will cross first across the stripe, and right back down on the bottom comes Arms.
Great battle for the lead. Of course, Don O'Neill, no stranger to winning big events, a three-time winner of the Jackson 100, 12 career Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series wins, and he's got his work cut out for him. He got by the 77, but these lap cars were giving Arms some fits.
The 44 car, Earl Pearson Jr., now trying to get past the 31 car of Skip Arp, and then, of course, just ahead of him, Scott Bloomquist.
Yeah, and right behind him, a great battle for 8th. Dale McDowell, the 17 M, and of course the Kentucky Colonel, Steve Francis, in the 11. They're starting to heat up a 3-car battle for the 5th spot. Bloomquist, Arp, and the 44 of Earl Pearson Jr.
And of course, Bloomquist and Jr. keep talking about those two guys because that's number 1 and number 2 in the points as we look at Earl Pearson Jr.
Yeah, they're going at it for 6th spot. If we throw Bloomquist in there, racing for 5th.
And we've always said Earl Pearson Jr. should be named Mr. Consistency, but if anybody should have taken that away from him, it has to be Bloomquist here this year.
Yeah, getting on board with EPJ, currently running in that 7th position. Yeah, Bloomquist, no wins, 13 top 5s, 20 top 10s. It's no secret that he wants to win this title. He's talked about points racing. He's trying to be consistent. He wants to win. Obviously, 50 grand up for grabs, but a good points night to him is just as good as a win.
Yeah, and that's a guy that has never won less than 7 events in a season since the start of his career. Only has 2 wins so far this year, none of them in this series. So Scott Bloomquist, hoping he can get up on the wheel, but he's already talked to us a couple times and said, man, I want to win this championship.
There he is, Earl Pearson Jr. now to the inside of Skip Arp. Bloomquist and Arp running the top shelf, EPJ down low. And it looks like that bottom lane is coming in. I mean, if you hit it perfect right there underneath the black, you get a lot of drive off the corner.
And I guarantee you, if anybody can hit it perfect, it will be the 44 car. It's more laps down the bottom of this track than anybody. But now I think reading your mind or listening to the broadcast has to be Bloomquist because he went right down in there.
Out the back. Oh, it looks like caution will come out here on lap 31. And it is Will the Thrill. Will Vaught in the 1V brings out the caution here in tonight's North-South 100.
Stay with us. There is a look at your General Tire Top 5. O'Neill leads Arms, Shaver, Conley, and Bloomquist. Come on back. $50,000 up for grabs for the Sunoco North-South 100.
Friday, tune in as Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth, and others face their toughest interviewers, the fans. NASCAR 2010 live from Daytona, Friday night at 8 Eastern. NASCAR on Speed. Be there.
Hey, I'm staring at you Choose 2. Can you tell?
Yes.
Every day on Quiznos' new Choose 2 menu, get 2 big Quiznos tastes for just $5. Like an 8-inch Turkey Club Toasty Bullet and a honey mustard chicken salad. Choose 2 for $5.
Hey,
extreme power of Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the world's longest lasting AA battery and high-tech devices. Energizer, keep going.
Why would any fun-loving, red-blooded, all-American male give up watching football to upgrade his headlights? Because Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania are up to 50% brighter and let you see up to 40% farther and up to 50% wider. But more importantly, because it's easier to replace a couple of headlights than it is...
Thanks, Dad.
...a daughter. See farther, see wider, see better. Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
There is a constant battle escalating right on our borders. Sunday, Nat Geo puts a face to the war, shadowing the men and women.
Everybody here puts a piece of themselves out.
On the front lines against smuggling, terrorism, and illegal immigration.
This is good stuff. It's what we like to do.
It's a never-ending fight.
There's a lot of danger over here.
To protect a 2,000-mile-long line in the sand. Border Wars Special Series premiere, Sunday at 9 on National Geographic.
We live in a dirty, greasy, grimy world. Not for long. Super clean. Not just clean, super clean.
Welcome back to the Sunoco Race Fuels North-South 100 presented by R&L Carriers. The Delaware Double File Restart is what they do here at the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series and always provides for some excitement. Woo! A little Domino's action right there.
Yeah, we almost had a little too much excitement for your leader, Don O'Neill, as the green flag is back out, working lap 33 of 100 here tonight at Florence Speedway.
Two trying to go three wide back in there. It gets pretty tight for that. Oh, man. It's a good thing these things have those big old shovel noses on them. They just kind of slide right underneath the rear end without making any contact.
On board with Earl Pearson Jr. And look at that. He's on the outside part of the racetrack trying to make a liar out of us.
Joe Arms down there on the bottom. Former leader of the race, 77 car going backwards now.
I don't know if the handle went away on that thing. Look, he's pretty loose through the corners, meaning the right rear wants to step out on him. Can't get any traction. Battle for that second spot. That is Steve Shaver, and of course the zero of Scott Blomqvist.
We talked about it before. Steve has won this event a couple of times. He knows how to get it done. And you talk about him falling back. You know, he was out front. Maybe he got a little heat in those tires, maybe sealed over the tires. When these caution flags come out, his tires do some weird stuff.
And now Scott Blomqvist working that low line as we go up to the 71C car. That is R.J. Conley.
We saw R.J. doing pretty well earlier on as he brought home a win inside of heat race number 3.
And we see that white and blue 28M. That is Jimmy Mars. Mars started pretty deep in the field, back inside road number 8. And he is working his way to the front. Some pretty big veterans right there with Jimmy Owens in the 20, Billy Moyer in the 21, and Mars in that 28.
Jimmy Mars starting in the 15th spot as you indicated. So, yeah, having a pretty nice run here as it seems like the car is coming to him a bit. But, yeah, he's got some big dogs right there in front of him that he has to get around. The Iceman cometh.
Yeah, well, he cometh last week, won $50,000 at the USA Nationals at Cedar Lake Speedway in New Richmond, Wisconsin. Trying to make it 100K within 7 days.
Back-to-back 50-granders, that would be quite the accomplishment, especially in a field like this. Don O'Neill right now, though, is the class of the field, man. He is checked out a full straightaway ahead.
And you can see running right through the middle of the racetrack. This thing could lay some rubber down. Obviously, it's very slick right now, slick and smooth. Up on top, we saw a few bumps. Those guys running the top shelf up there where Blomqvist is. But pretty much a slick and smooth racetrack, so it could get faster if these guys lay some rubber down.
It's not too much. Scott Blomqvist hasn't won at some point in time inside of his career. Battling for second right now is Steve Shaver. Down low trying to find something. You just lose so much momentum down there, and you really have to check up to get around there and not wash up into the slick stuff. Another onboard shot with me.
Another day at the office for Scott Bloomquist in that Zero car. Nice, cool, calm, collected driver behind the wheel. Steve Shaver, you mentioned two-time winner of this event. Of course, he won it back in 2004 and 2006. In a good spot to win it here tonight as well.
He definitely has a long race package that he puts inside of this car, and if it stays green for a long time, he will be somebody to deal with, and we can see that happening now. He just starts creeping up on people, and he's going high, he's going low, keeping the pressure on, looking for a place that Shaver does not want to go. Helmet stop right there for Jimmy Owens.
Yeah,
imagine your head. I mean, your neck gets tired, dude. You know, when you go around here, you're pretty much in a turn all the time, or at least what feels like all the time. So those neck muscles get tired. So once in a while, them guys will need a stop over there to hold that helmet up.
Jimmy Mars on the inside, Billy Moyer on the outside. Moyer in the 21, known as Mr. Smooth.
The Iceman working on him right here. He's just slowly picking him off as well.
Yeah, he's working that low line. He said if you can hit the low line really good, I think right now it's the place to be. But guys on the outside building that momentum, we're getting these long green flag runs. You can make the outside work.
16 wins for Jimmy Mars and 50 starts for 2008 with 30 top fives. The National 100 for 30 grander back then. So, I mean, he's definitely had some success inside of that car. A lot of experience dealing with these big dogs.
Yeah, approaching the halfway point there. Shaver, Bloomquist, and Earl Pearson Jr. going at it. Back up front, Don O'Neill. This is just a great event, Ken. A three-day event 2 nights ago. They practiced out here last night. Of course, we qualified. We inducted 9 members into the Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame, 2 of which Mark Richards, owner of Rocket Chassis, and of course Kenny Schrader, also inducted. So a really neat weekend for the fans.
Yeah, the guys love coming out here as well to support such a facility that takes such good care of them. And here comes the move. Bloomquist gets up on it, drives it down in low, pulls the slide job off up high, and it looks like Earl Pearson Jr. wants to follow him.
Yeah, Bloomquist pretty much up on the outside part of the racetrack, really moving what would normally be called a cushion closer and closer to the wall. That thing's going to almost be on the fence by the end of 100 laps here tonight, and it could prove to be the fastest way around.
Some rubber stoppers on the right side of the car. Just lean her up against the wall and keep digging.
So we mentioned Earl Pearson Jr. running the low line, and if he can hit his marks, obviously the shortest way around, you would think would be the fastest way around. You can see right there a little bit high, kind of diamonding that corner, going in high, coming off the bottom. A little bit further back, guys all over the racetrack. Jimmy Mars in that white and blue 28. That is Skip Arp in the 31, and R.J. Conley there in that 71C. 71C out in front right now.
Just leaning right up on him. Such a game of patience here. You don't just get to pass somebody pretty much in one lap. It is a slow process of 3, 4, 5 laps sometimes to get around somebody.
Yeah, look at that. Jimmy Mars just right around that low line, doing an awesome job. Conley, a 2-time Portsmouth Raceway Park champion out of the state of Ohio, just across the border, doing a good job as well. Some great side-by-side racing here just past the halfway point.
All right, your General Tire top 5 has Don O'Neill leading Scott Bloomquist. Stay with us. We have a lot more racing yet to go.
It's a car-crushing, high-flying extravaganza on speed. Get live Monster Jam and Supercross back-to-back. Live tonight, it's Monster Jam at 7 p.m. Eastern and Monster Energy EMA Supercross at 10 Eastern, only on Speed.
The automobile, as different as the people that drive them, but as unique and important to each, they only need one automatic transmission fluid, Lucas. Lucas Multi-Vehicle Automatic Transmission Fluid was developed to enhance transmission performance and longevity on a wide variety of vehicles. In a world that is so complex, with Lucas Multi-Vehicle ATF, it's nice to know that taking care of your car doesn't have to be. Available at AutoZone and other quality automotive parts retailers nationwide.
Mr. Owen, the transmission is going to be a lot more expensive than I thought.
Really, it's not
Big job. It's going to take at least a week or so. You might want to consider a rental car. I mean, parts alone are going to run $1,900, and then you add $13.
It's okay, man. I've got Mogi, free rental car, and sushi with my girl at 7.
Don't let expensive repairs hold you back. Get Mogi, extended vehicle protection customized just for you. Insurance covers accidents, but what if your car breaks down? Mogi is the other half of coverage, protecting you from expensive repairs. Just take your car to a licensed repair shop and we pay the bill. It's that simple. We're not like the other guys. Mogi gives you real benefits that give you peace of mind. Visit our website and get the facts. Log on and get a real quote in writing before you buy. Cars break down. It's a fact. But with Mogi, you can keep your car and be worry-free. Call now and ask how you can save hundreds of dollars on coverage. Mogi. Life warrants more.
Don't wait. Call 1-888-783-0314. That's 1-888-783-0314.
The Sunoco Race Fields North-South 100 right about midway. And the battle for 17th with Dustin Neat, Ray Cook back behind him, and right in the middle, one of the best of all time, and Tim McCready. Great to have him back inside of a race car after a very scary incident at the Chili Bowl earlier this year.
Yeah, 2008 was a banner year for Tim McCready. He won the Topless 100. He won the Jackson 100. Good to see him back behind the wheel of that Sweeteners Plus number 39.
Yeah, and the late model nationals as well in Knoxville. So actually backed up that Jackson 100. It was back-to-back weeks there. Really good run for him. 71, Don O'Neill's hoping he can go on that type of string, and right now has been the dominant car out here tonight.
Dustin Neat there in the 25, multi-time track champ at the Bluegrass Speedway, not too far away from here. Trying to hold off 39 there of Tim McCready, and McCready working the low line. Neat up there in the slick, or what's becoming the rubber.
Kick that car sideways a little bit coming down the front straightaway. It's kind of interesting to watch these guys deal with the big horsepower right there. Man, it's just a nice little move as he sets up for the entry of the tournament. He is right through the black stuff. Eventually it's going to cost him because McCready's picking away at it down there on the bottom.
Yeah, you can see a nice little slide job there, and given they're back in the pack and the leaders are coming up on these guys, but they're racing for position. There's a lot of money up for grabs. We heard from Argabright, he said $2,500 just to take the green flag in tonight's feature event, so a lot of money paid throughout the field here tonight.
Battle for fourth place now. Steve Shaver, we saw him up there earlier. Joe Arms, who was leading earlier, trying to hang on to some money right there. And here comes the 20 car, who's been picking his way up towards the front.
Yeah, Jimmy Owens started back outside row 8 and 16th. He's working the low line, and right behind him, Jimmy Mars in the 28. Eddie Carrier Jr. up there as well. It's going to be a 5-car battle.
The row to be so far, it looks like, is row 8. Jimmy Mars and also Jimmy Owens, the Jimmy and Jimmy Show, 15th and 16th, working their way up into the top 5, and the O Show decided to make it the Newport Nightmare right there.
Yeah, he tried to shut the door on Jimmy Mars. We'll see how long that lasts, but Jimmy Owens right now very quick right on that low line, getting a little bit high in the rubber, turning left, shooting off the bottom. He gets by Steve Shaver now, so Jimmy Owens on the move, and looks like he's bringing his pal from row 8, Jimmy Mars.
Well, we talked about it before. There's no radio communication with any spotters up there, so these drivers really have to feel where the other guys are. It's very difficult. Keep in mind you're strapped in. You have a head and neck restraint system. You really can't turn your head left or right. You have the full containment seats around the sides of your head, so it is very difficult to know when somebody's on your outside, especially on the outside right rear.
Scott Bloomquist in the 0, right behind him. The defending Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series champion, Earl Pearson Jr. That is the battle for second spot. So you're 1 and 2 in the points right now, running second and third.
Funny how it always just seems to work out that way, but that's why those number 2 in the points, because they are consistently in the top 5. It's very difficult to make up a lot of ground on either one of them.
Well, we talked about being consistent. Earl Pearson Jr. already 2 wins this year at Brownstown Speedway and the Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. And of course your points leader has no wins, so it's kind of a twist of fate here in 2009.
Jimmy Mars, it's a little game there going on with Joe Arms, seeing who can get the lowest on this track. There are berms down in there too. I mean, it'll kind of tear up the front of the car if you're not careful. Right there he got position as Joe Arms slid up.
Yeah, and while those guys go side by side, Owens back there in the 20 saying, all right guys, go ahead, bang off each other. I'm gonna squeak on by. Mars will get the spot by the 77, so Jimmy Mars making some moves here late with about 30 laps to go. The real deal still in command.
When we come back, we'll continue on. We're getting down to the final laps here at the Sunoco North-South 100.
During National Football Month, Papa John's wants you to watch the season's best games with a better pizza.
Papa's in the house.
Y'all watching the game? Good.
Get 2 large one-topping pizzas for just $16.99 during National Football Month. Made with fresh dough, all-natural sauce, and 100% real cheese.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Wow, it's going to be a pretty good penalty.
Atta boy, all right, we're home. Next week, it's the 2-hour premiere of American Idol. Be there for the best talent yet.
I've been really trying, baby.
The most arrogant contestant ever.
Why are you here, Andrew?
Should be fairly obvious.
And you won't believe how it ends.
You got tears in my eyes now.
And which singer will have the judges raving?
5 bazillion said yes.
American Idol. Don't miss the premiere event next week on Fox.
At General Tire, there's nothing general about us when it comes to performance, ruggedness, style, toughness, traction, endurance. General Tire, the tire choice of living on the edge.
One call is all you need. R&L Carriers, a leader in the less-than-truckload motor freight industry. In the U.S. and Canada, we've got you covered. With pride in our people and pride in our performance. Available inside delivery and free liftgate service. Plus the best customer service in the industry. R&L Carriers, a carrier you can count on.
That is the leader here at the Sunoco Racefields North-South 100, presented by R&L Carriers. The real deal, Don O'Neill, car number 71, out here getting it done, baby. He is an aggressive driver. He is a very passionate driver. And when he gets out front like this, I guarantee he's going to be difficult to beat. Battle for 6th place between Joe Arms and Skip Arp. Joe Arms just steadily, unfortunately for him, going backwards.
Yeah, Arms led the first 23. O'Neill took over on lap number 24, continues to lead. Skip Arp, you know, he'd been running up front. He kind of fell back, now working his way back up to the front. He's trying that high line there and that number 31 car.
Difficult to use all the ponies these guys have underneath the hood.
On board with Earl Pearson Jr., again running in that 3rd spot.
Battle for 2nd place, Scott Bloomquist, Earl Pearson Jr. going at it. Jimmy Mars also working his way up in there. And by the way, the one of only 2 cars out there that Jimmy Mars is in, the chassis actually built by Mars and Burkhofer, the MB Customs chassis, as we watch these other 2 guys go and at it here. Of course, Bloomquist, also a designer of his own chassis.
And Mars right there, bouncing off that inside berm, as we call it, loses a little ground to these 2. Bloomquist in the 0, Earl Pearson Jr. in the 44. There's Jimmy Mars trying to run him down. Again, this is a 2-car battle right now for that 2nd spot with Bloomquist in it. EPJ wants it, but don't count out Jimmy Mars. He is slowly reeling these guys in.
Earl Pearson Jr. still flying the Masters-built chassis as well. Always seems to do a great job for him. Again, just one of those cars that's just very consistent no matter what the track dishes out. Current leader, Don O'Neill. And Don O'Neill, also in a Masters built right now, is out there getting it done, has been out there for a long time, and I haven't seen anybody really roll up on him just yet. If they're going to do it, they better be getting after it, because it is lap 83.
Yeah, I don't think, if we don't catch a caution, I don't think anyone is going to catch Don O'Neill. I mean, he is so smooth. He works his way around low line, middle, high line, wherever he has to go. He's going to be tough to catch. We go back to that battle for 11th spot. Again, there is Steve Shaver and the 75 of Bart Hartman.
Yeah, both of these guys hoping they get a little better run at it than they've had here tonight.
Yeah, the Bartman using that low line. 3 career Lucas Oil late model dirt series wins. You mentioned finished second to Earl Pearson Jr. in the points one night ago.
Bart Hartman goes down low. Oh, man, but tries to keep it off the side of Shaver.
Okay, goes low, can't get it to work, goes high. Will that work? As Don O'Neill continues to cruise.
Nice out front. He's making it look easy, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he just drives it in there. It looks like he's not sawing on the wheel. He's keeping the car nice and straight. That's what you have to do when the track lays rubber and it gets fast like this. You got to keep that car nice and straight. Again, battle for that 6th spot. Joe Arms in the 77 and Skip Arp in that 31.
Skip Arp just, I mean, he's been right there. And it has to be frustrating for these guys. You see him, you catch them, they drive away from you, but you can never get around them. The distance stays almost exactly the same, lap after lap. You try high, you try low. There's just nothing else there.
Yeah, Hall of Famer Ray Cook right in front of those guys in that 53. Got inducted back in 2006.
Hanging on. It's a great battle here for position. But, of course, the man out front is O'Neill, and the question is, can any of the other guys catch up with him and close that gap? It seems as though they've been picking away at it.
Yeah, we're coming in on 10 laps to go, and, I mean, he's working lap traffic. He's got Dale McDowell right in front of him. That is your leader, Don O'Neill. But like I said, I mean, look at him. That thing is like on a rail. It's like he's running pavement. The right rear does not want to step out. It's a lightning fast race car. As we go back to that battle for a third, they're still racing side by side. Hey, we got $50,000 up for grabs and about 10 laps to go.
Don O'Neill leading your General Tire top 5. 90 of 100 laps completed. Yeah, 10 more left. It's the shootout. You don't want to miss it.
Don't miss your only chance to see these treasures cross the block live. Barrett-Jackson live coverage begins January 19th, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
We now offer phone service for $1.70 a month with Magic Jack. That's just $19.95 a year. $19.95 a year. We give you free local and long distance and your own phone number. Replace your phone company or add a second line with Magic Jack.
This month on Fox Movie Channel's Life After Film School, John Landau, producer of the 20th Century Fox film Avatar.
The goal of any narrative story is to immerse the audience in the story you're telling. There's nothing more immersive than a 3D experience.
Only on Fox Movie Channel.
More size, more tone, more definition. It's all new. And now with more muscle. The Perfect Push-Up V2, invented by a U.S. Navy SEAL. The Perfect Push-Up has been completely redesigned. A larger, more stable base, 30% more ball bearing, and a 15% larger, more textured grip. Each handle now supports over 200 pounds. Your arms, chest, shoulders, and abs will explode. The Perfect Push-Up rotates with a natural movement of your arms and shoulders, just like a punch. But now, the punch is bigger. The V2 transmits the power of rotation better, which means bigger muscle growth. You'll see positively steroidal results. Call right now, and we're including free shipping. That's right, you won't get hosed with shipping charges, because shipping is free when you call to order your V2 right now. So here's the deal. The Perfect Push-Up V2 is only 2 payments of $19.95, and we'll make this ridiculous guarantee. Use the V2 for 90 days. If you don't like it, send it back. We'll refund your money. It's that simple. Get ripped faster. Call now for your Perfect Push-Up V2.
Beautiful estates out here, but these guys are hoping for a beautiful check, and Jimmy Mars is slowly coming after him. Right now, looks like he has worked past Earl Pearson Jr. Can he do the same with Scott Bloomquist just ahead of him?
Well, they started back inside road number 8 in the 15th spot. Bloomquist slides a little high. See if Mars can work that low line. He's trying to bring Earl Pearson Jr. with him, or EPJ is trying to go with him. Yeah, and Bloomquist with the momentum will keep the position. So there it is, a 3-car battle, still for second spot. Mars and Bloomquist going at it. Can Earl Pearson Jr. stay in that fight?
And the important thing is these 3 guys, all 3 of them, are slowly reeling in O'Neill. But do they have enough time? There's only 8 laps left. But he no longer enjoys a full straightaway lead. In fact, you see the yellow car up there right in the center of the turn when these guys are entering the turn. Bloomquist way up, cleaning the wall off, and now it looks like Mars is going to get the spot on him to take over second place.
The Iceman is coming from Menominee, Wisconsin, takes over second. looking for another $50,000 payday. We got 6 laps to go, but the 28M is coming.
And he's not afraid, man. He'll run the top, he'll run the bottom. It doesn't matter to him. Right now, he's down, tucked away on the bottom. Seems to be getting a good run.
What's hard about this is Don O'Neill has no idea these guys are coming. I mean, he's out there running his lines. Unless he can see a crew guy giving him hand signals, he has no clue that the 28M is running him down.
When they come around this time, it will be 4 to go. Take a look at your leader right behind him, the white car. That is Jimmy Mars. Not much distance anymore.
Yeah, within about a lap and a half, Mars closed in a half a straightaway on O'Neill. There it is, about 10 car lengths. Entering turn number 3, it'll be 3 to go. This time by O'Neill. Gets hung out to dry. Mars on that low line, reeling him in.
He's got to either go up high or he's got to get down low where there's a little bite. He can't stay in the middle like that. Jimmy Mars is thinking, baby, flip me 50,000 more in back-to-back weeks. Can I get it done?
2 laps to go this time by. Mars down low. O'Neill could be feeling it now.
Lap traffic right in front of him as well. Again, O'Neill keeps the same exact line.
He's been loving that high line, but again, out in front has no idea these guys are running him down. Doesn't know what his lap times are, doesn't know if he's fast. And again, Mars on the low line coming to the white flag.
That's where O'Neill loses all of his time in 3 and 4. Now O'Neill comes back down to the bottom. Final lap. Here comes Jimmy Mars. Jimmy Mars underneath him. Can he pull off a last turn, last lap pass? He's got a little nose on him. Does O'Neill have anything to get back? No, he does not. And the $50,000 in back-to-back weeks is going to go to Jimmy Mars, the winner of the Sunoco North-South 100. The Iceman coming. He did not make a mistake. It would have only taken a moment. He would have lost it all. We'll talk to the winner when we come back.
Tonight, it's a car-crushing, high-flying extravaganza on Speed for the first time ever. Live Monster Jam and Supercross back-to-back. Gravedigger leads Monster Jam into Atlanta for a no-holds-barred rampage. Then James Stewart, Chad Reed, and the Rebels of Supercross bring anarchy to the season opener in Anaheim. Live tonight, it's Monster Jam at 7 p.m. Eastern and Monster Energy EMA Supercross at 10 Eastern, only on Speed.
Everyday life can be a long way from the racetrack. Not at Lucas. Our racing experience and technology is right there with you every day, in every bottle, no matter what you drive. Lucas is blended to make your vehicle perform at its best in every condition. Your engine will run cooler and longer with the confidence that all Lucas drivers have. With Lucas Oil, our racing experience is with you every day.
When I look at you, all I see is guilt.
Your lawyer doesn't have your back.
Another 15 minutes, she would have been dead.
Men have their secrets.
We need to cooperate. I've been questioning my client for 5 hours. You want to get a waterboard?
You're gonna die alone, Patty.
Doesn't everybody?
The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series has been brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, made in America, sold to the world. R&L Carriers, one call, one carrier. And by K&N, the world's best air filter. Welcome back to the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, where Jimmy Mars leads the only lap that counts, the last lap. $50,000 to his credit. Let's go to the E3 race recap.
It started off with Joe Arms and Don O'Neill on the front row setting the pace as O'Neill, definitely one of the fastest cars early on in this event. Him and Arms would go side by side for a handful of laps.
Yeah, Arms really hanging on there for a long time, but finally the 71 car would take advantage of him and get around. Will Vaught came in, along with Dale McDowell. Then the restart as Don O'Neill kind of checks up the field and gets a little breathing room.
The O-Show, Jimmy Owens would fight his way to the front, trying to get around the 77 of Joe Arms. Two grooves of racing as we go back a little bit further. You got points contenders. Scott Bloomquist in the 0 would have to battle with that 44, four-time champ of Earl Pearson Jr.
Of course, back up to the front. Don O'Neill leading. And then here comes the Iceman, the 28 car of Jimmy Mars, doing what he had to do on the last lap of the race. And just like that, plucks 50 grand out of Don O'Neill's pocket.
$100,000 in 7 days for Jimmy Mars as he picks up a big one here in the North-South 100.
Your R&L Carriers main event results are as follows. Mars, O'Neill, Bloomquist, Pearson Jr., and Owens in the top 5.
You can see T-Mac Tim McCready finished in 11th spot. Second in the points 1 year ago, Bart Hartman in 12th. Ray Cook down there in 17th. Josh Richards ended up in 16th.
There's a look at the rest of the field of 26 cars here for tonight's event. Let's go down and talk to our winner.
Well, I tell you what, I have seen some races in my day, and you stole this thing. Did you worry you'd run out of laps?
Yeah, I did. You know, we were fighting pretty hard with Pearson and Bloomquist there and trying to get a line, and finally they kind of spread out, and I was able to get by them on the inside and, like, do everything I can do without slipping the car too much and catch O'Neill, and he was playing it cool in the lap cars, and I just made a bonsai move to try to get in there and not slip any more than I needed to, and we won it. I can't believe it.
You must have had this thing dead on because you were on a rail those last 50 laps. Was that the strategy?
Yeah, I mean, when this car is awesome when it gets starts to get black out, and I can start maneuvering all over the track, and it was awesome. I'm still trying to grasp what the heck happened here. It was pretty awesome.
What's it feel like to win the North-South?
Well, I'll tell you, it's just awesome. I mean, you look at the amount of good names, good drivers that are in that deal, the 50 grand, the big trophy. It's just unreal. I mean, we've come here, won a couple of small races, got second a couple times, but to win it, this is just unreal.
50 grand, don't spend it in one place. Congratulations, Jimmy.
There's a look at the points. Scott Bloomquist will leave here with a little larger point lead over Earl Pearson Jr. as he tags about 20 points on it.
Yeah, Jimmy Owens still in third. McDowell and Don O'Neill round out your top 5. But I tell you what, heartbreak for your second place finisher here tonight.
I'll tell you what, I'm as heartbroken for you as you probably are. You were kind of a sitting duck there trying to play it cool. Is that how it played out?
Yeah, I mean, he come from nowhere, and I don't know what else I would have done different. I just, he was better than we were at the end, and I mean, it sort of bothers you, if you wasn't a racer, if it didn't, so, good job to him, it's just part of racing.
These cars don't have radios. When you're leading, I would assume you have just no way to know if anybody's coming.
No, that's a prime example of, what happens, so.
The good news is you got a great finish for series points, and you've really got some momentum here going into this late in the season. You've had 3, really, really good races. You've won a couple. You're really coming on right now.
Yeah, I never won this race, and I was wanting this thing really bad. But, we have to wait until next year, and, I want to thank the whole Masterbuilt crew, Racing United Marketing, Superior Cleaning, Hanzo Logistics, and on the J. Dickens Race Engines, and, of course, everybody at Masterbuilt and Masterbuilt South.
Well, it's a tough ending. You handle it well like a champion. Good job done.
Okay, thank you.
Hope you enjoyed watching a very exciting race. This telecast has been produced by Lucas Oil Studios. For Dave Argerbright and Rob Klepper, I'm Ken Stout. See you next time with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Every year, there's a handful of events that are called Crown Jewels that make themselves available. Very prestigious races with a lot of money up for grabs. With 30 stops already in the books for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, one of those Crown Jewels is next. It's the Topless 100. Welcome to to Batesville, Arkansas. Ken Stout and Rob Cover ready to call all the action from the Topless 100 for you. And this is part of the Classic Museum that is part of Mark Martin Ford. Some of his historical race cars, including the 5-time IROC championship car, are housed here. You'll also find some of his fire suits, helmets, a lot of stuff from his racing career. But we're not here to talk about Mark Martin. We're here to talk about the 17th annual Comp Cam's Topless 100 presented by Lucas Oil. This is the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. The biggest names in the business are out here to win one of the crown jewels, Rob.
Well, absolutely. All the big guns are out here. 68 cars signing up to try and win the Topless 100. We had a chance to sit down and talk to Mooney Star, the founder of this event, on how it got going here at Batesville.
Well, you know, I wanted to do something different. There was a lot of big races around. I wanted to start something here. And the way this place is laid out, it's phenomenal. It's great for the fans because you're looking down. If you're in the grandstand, you're looking down. Pits, you're looking down. So that way you can see the drivers. Full tear off, whether they're grabbing their wheel or whether they're working, where they used to run radios. So we want to do something different for the fans and put them more involved. And, you know, now there's a lot of people around having the topless this and the topless that, but still this is the Comp Cam's Topless 100.
Engines fired up here. By the way, a capacity crowd, one of the largest crowds in the history of this event. Let's talk about this racetrack, Rob.
Yeah, 3/8 mile dirt oval, semi-banked with that awesome Arkansas red clay. It can slick off, but it will make for some great racing. The cool thing about this racetrack is that inside fence. You run too low, you hook that left front, you can spin around, and then mayhem ensues.
Absolutely. We'll get things fired up here and these guys moving. Of course, we'll have a great look here at the drivers as well for the 17th annual Topless 100. $40,000 to the winner, a 100-lap main event.
Yeah, a lot of laps here for these race drivers, but I mean, they run a lot of 100-lap events throughout the year, so they are certainly used to it. And also tonight, every past champion of this event, with the exception of two, the 1994 winner Tony Carden and the 4-time winner Billy Moyer, not racing tonight, but past winners like Shannon Babb, Dale McDowell, 2-time winner Jimmy Mars, and of course defending winner T-Mac Tim McCready in the house.
Billy Moyer will be represented here, but it will be his son, Billy Moyer Jr., a.k.a.
Kid
Smooth, baby. Love it right there. Take a look at the 75 car. That is Terry Phillips. He won his heat race. Scott Blomqvist also won his heat race, along with Jimmy Owens, Dale McDowell, Earl Pearson Jr., and John Blankenship. But now we want to show you highlights from the two B mains.
Two 20-lap B main events, almost a feature anywhere in the country. Here tonight, it's a B main. We saw the 41. That was Brad Neaton with trouble. For David Brazil, the 54 get together off turn 4. You didn't want to have problems in these B mains because only the top two would transfer on.
By the way, your favorite driver was in this field, Mr. Bub McCool, but it was the 41 car that hung on and would transfer along with Bill Fry. B main number 2, Billy Moyer Jr. got him off to a quick start, but then Peyton Taylor goes for a ride here as he hits the wall up and out of the park at the last moment. The car literally just turned right, and he went dead straight out of the park. A very scary moment here. You can see a lot of damage to the right front of that car where he tagged the wall. We come back to race. As you can see, Billy Moyer Jr.'s car, some heavy damage to the right side of that one.
It was a great battle for second spot as Ray Cook in the 53 working to the inside. The Dirt Late Model Hall of Famer would take over second. You can see the track already widening out here in this second of two B mains.
At the close of the second B main, after 20 laps, it was Billy Moyer Jr. that won it. Ray Cook in second place, both drivers transferring to the back of the A main. Again, Terry Phillips and Scott Blomqvist out front here as we get ready to start the A main. 100 laps in store here for this evening. The track looking pretty sweet right now.
Yeah, right now it looks like a little bit of slickness right through the middle of the racetrack, but this thing always is ready for a great race. Topless for the fans here tonight, and it's been a really neat week for them. They got to practice on Thursday night. We qualified and ran heats last night. Of course, semis in the big Topless 100 here tonight at the Batesville Speedway.
Awesome racetrack, beautiful area in the grandstands. We heard that a little bit earlier. You sit up nice and high. You really get a great look at the entire racetrack. Some nice suites up there as well as they go 4 wide here for the parade lap.
Yeah, we have to talk about the most beautiful sight in all of motorsports, and whether it's a street stock event, a dirt late model event, a sprint car event, paying tribute to all the great race fans across the country that come out to this event. I I mean, they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fans, and it's really a neat sight to see these guys go 4 wide.
Yeah, everybody stands up, gives them a nice round of applause. All the drivers wave back. The crew members are out there for the racetrack. Fireworks going off. Just the ambiance of the moment. You have to be here. You have to live it to understand what we're talking about. So if you get an opportunity, come out to one of these big events, one of these crown jewel events, because it is a special feeling. When we come back, we'll get them lined up and started. The Topless 100 is next.
Not all V-twins are the same, but it only takes one oil brand to keep them running smooth and strong. Lucas. No matter the size, shape, attitude, or how you ride it, Lucas motor oils are specially blended with Lucas technology to improve performance and life of your V-twin. At Lucas, what you put in your V-twin keeps what you put on it moving forward. Lucas Oil, available at quality motorcycle retailers.
So you got both those things for $5? $5. Can I borrow $5? No way. Every day on Quizno's new Choose 2 menu, get 2 big Quizno's tastes for just $5. Like an Alpine chicken Sammy and a bowl of broccoli cheese soup. Choose 2 for $5.
We now offer phone service for $1.70 a month with Magic Jack. That's just $19.95 a year. $19.95 a year. We give you free local and long distance and your own phone number. Replace your phone company or add a second line with Magic Jack.
I like a nice ham. You think that's wrong? We're just enjoying the flavors of a fallen friend. True. I'll tell you what's wrong. A cell phone company that charges hidden fees. That's why I got Boost Mobile. Their $50 monthly unlimited plan has no hidden fees.
$50 unlimited talk, text, and web on a dependable nationwide network. Learn more at boostmobile.com. Boost Mobile, unwronged.
Geico Power Sports. We feel your passion.
The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is brought to you by E3 Spark Plugs with Diamond Fire technology. R&L Carrier, one call, one carrier. And by Super Clean, not just clean, super clean. Welcome back to Batesville, Arkansas for the 17th annual Comp Cam's Topless 100 presented by Lucas Oil. About to get things fired up here. We need to talk about the points because they've been hot and heavy all season long as well. 30 events in the books already. Scott Bloomquist has yet to win a race, but he is winning the lead when it comes to points. Doing an awesome job here. He's been very consistent.
No, absolutely. As we see Scott Bloomquist there in that 0 car. He finished ahead of Earl Pearson Jr. by 1 spot at the North-South recently and moved that lead to 185 over EPJ, the 4-time champ. Jimmy Owens third, Dale McDowell there in the 4th spot, but everybody is chasing Scott Bloomquist as we take a look at our K&N starting grid.
Terry Phillips on the pole, Scott Bloomquist out alongside. A little further back, Tim McCready in row 5 next to the wild man Dan Sleeper. And then, of course, Jimmy Mars, who's already won a couple of 50-granders this year.
Yeah, Jimmy Mars having an awesome year as well. We go back to row number 9. You see Chris Madden back there. Back to row number 12. Don O'Neill, Steve Casebolt taking provisionals. That's right, O'Neill, Casebolt, provisional. You don't hear that too often. Emergency provisional for EJ Eric Jacobson. The Earth Shaker will start deep in tonight's Topless 100.
Yeah, baby, 68 cars out here fighting for a starting position, and it's showtime now. They throw the green flag, we are off. A great start, the track looks awesome. Earl Pearson Jr. with a red Slick Mess 44 car on the outside there of the 17 car of Dale McDowell.
Nice speedy shot on the front stretch. Stay across the stride. The dirt track dominator, Scott Bloomquist, out to the early lead. Terry Phillips running in that 2nd spot. Battle for 3rd Dale McDowell in the 17M, and of course the O-Show, Jimmy Owens in the 20.
The Newport Nightmare, using one of those Bloomquist race car chassis, has been on the hunt all year long. It's been very, very tough. Has not won, though, since back in May, the Ralph Latham Memorial, his last time in the winner's circle. We'll see if he can pick up the pace here, but right now he's got to chase the man that designed that race car.
Yeah, Scott Bloomquist right there, right through the middle of the racetrack. It turns 1 and 2, now into turn number 3, around the outside part, and you can see almost a half a straightaway advantage over Terry Phillips very early in this race, and right now, Bloomquist is pretty much dominating.
This is his style racetrack right here. You'll notice the car very rarely gets way sideways. He drives it almost like an asphalt track, and when he can find that setup, he is tough to beat. Dips it down to the center of the turn there. We go a little deeper in the pack. This is the battle for second place. Terry Phillips falling back, and here comes the second Bloomquist chassis, driven by Owens. We talked about that before. There's a look at Jimmy Mars, the 28 car, the white number 28. McCready right back behind him. Mars, we talked about before. Man, talk about winning $100 grand. That's a pretty good lick right there, baby.
Yeah, Jimmy Mars won last week, the North-South, $50,000 to win race. Before that, a week before that, the USA Nationals up at Cedar Lake in Wisconsin. So $100 grand, trying to add a few more dollars to his pocket here tonight.
Absolutely. Go buy a spare power plant, boom, just like that. You only got 60 left. Tim McCready, the 39 car. Nice comeback for him after a very scary moment early in this year when he went up and out of the park. The car underneath him, that's the 9 car of Dan Schleeper. First time he's been out here in a Team Zero car, designed and built by Scott Bloomquist.
In a Bloomquist chassis car or a former Bloomquist car, all we did was put the 9 in there, and there you have the Wisconsin Wild Man. But you're right, Tim McCready, an awesome year 1 year ago, winning this race. He won the Jackson 100, also won the Lucas Oil Knoxville Late Model Nationals. And you can see Scott Bloomquist still out in front and running right through the middle, nice and smooth off turn 4.
Owens right behind him, though, as they get behind Steve Casewell, the C9. Here comes Owens. Owens goes down low. Bloomquist up high as they come out side by side. Oh! And Bloomquist has to check up just a little bit. So Owens takes over the point.
Wow, a nice move for Jimmy Owens working that low line as we go back in the pack. Earl Pearson Jr. in the 44 trying to reel in Dale McDowell. That is the battle for 5th spot. And Pearson, uncharacteristically, on the outside part of the racetrack. What's going on?
Is he lost up there? Yeah, typically he runs down to the bottom, but it looks like he feels more comfortable up top here tonight. We'll see if he stays up there. A lot of laps yet to be run here. Jimmy Owens is your leader, though. The O-Show, the Newport Nightmare, whatever you'd like to call him. Of course, his team owner out of Tazewell, Tennessee. That's Mike Reese, Cornet Power underneath the hood. And so far, the combination working pretty sweet.
Yeah, and you can see the O-Show already in heavy lap traffic. These guys going side by side for position. Again, 100 laps. And no radios on these race cars with the exception of from the officials. The competition director will talk to the drivers, and that's it. There's no communication to crew chiefs and or spotters. Once you're out on the racetrack, you're all on your own, and it looks like caution comes out for the 777 of Jared Landers, a local driver from right here in Batesville.
Gets it refired once again and moving, so hopefully the car's okay. Hope he just got into a bad situation, snubbed the motor, what the case may be. We'll get them lined back up for the 17th annual Comp Camp Topless 100.
Tonight, it's a car-crushing high-flying extravaganza on speed for the first time ever. Live Monster Jam and Supercross back-to-back. Gravedigger leads Monster Jam into Atlanta for a no-holds-barred rampage. Then James Stewart, Chad Reed, and the Rebels of Supercross bring anarchy to the season opener in Anaheim. Live tonight, it's Monster Jam at 7 p.m. Eastern and Monster Energy EMA Supercross at 10 Eastern, only on Speed.
Hey, I'm staring at you Choose 2. Can you tell?
Yes.
Every day on Quiznos' new Choose 2 menu, get 2 big Quiznos tastes for just $5. Like an 8-inch Turkey Club Toasty Bullet and a honey mustard chicken salad. Choose 2 for $5.
This month on Fox Movie Channel's Life After Film School, John Landau, producer of the 20th Century Fox film Avatar.
The goal of any narrative story is to immerse the audience in the story you're telling. There's nothing more immersive than a 3D experience.
Only on Fox Movie Channel.
More size, more tone, more definition. It's all new. And now with more muscle. The Perfect Push-Up V2, invented by a U.S. Navy SEAL. The Perfect Push-Up has been completely redesigned. A larger, more stable base, 30% more ball bearing, and a 15% larger, more textured grip. Each handle now supports over 200 pounds. Your arms, chest, shoulders, and abs will explode. The Perfect Push-Up rotates with a natural movement of your arms and shoulders, just like a punch. But now, the punch is bigger. The V2 transmits the power of rotation better, which means bigger muscle growth. You'll see positively steroidal results. Call right now, and we're including free shipping. That's right, you won't get hosed with shipping charges, because shipping is free when you call to order your V2 right now. So here's the deal. The Perfect Push-Up V2 is only 2 payments of $19.95, and we'll make this ridiculous guarantee. Use the V2 for 90 days. If you don't like it, send it back. We'll refund your money. It's that simple. Get ripped faster. Call now for your Perfect Push-Up V2.
There's some of the fans out there on the backside of the track. Kind of a natural grandstand, if you will. A lot of the motorhomes out there. So great viewing point no matter where you're at here at Batesville Speedway.
Yeah, and we heard Mooney Starr talk about this racetrack, how it is kind of set down in a hole, so to speak. So you're always looking down on this racetrack. And I mean, just an awesome idea to go topless here, because you can really see these drivers working that wheel.
Delaware double file restart. Oh, and brings them back to strike. Man, oh man, he's hooked up here tonight.
And right behind him, who do you see? That blue and white number 28M of Jimmy Mars. If he could win this event, 3 weeks, $140,000.
Yeah, he's buying dinner for sure if that's the case, man. Jimmy Mars and Scott Bloomquist doing battle, and Mars down low, making it work for him so far, and it looks like there would be plenty of grip down low.
Well, he knows this place pretty well. He's a two-time Topless 100 winner, finished 8th 1 year ago. And it looks like the bottom is the place to be, and we know Bloomquist likes the outside part of the racetrack, and he likes that smooth part of the racetrack. And right now his car is working pretty good up on the top shelf, but maybe Mars a little bit better down low.
I don't know if you can give an advantage. I think they've stayed within a couple of inches of each other here for a few laps now. Right there, though, in the center on the bottom, it looks like it might be a little slick. You see Mars wash up. You can see the difference in the color of the dirt itself. A little grayer dirt, closer to a red color maybe, is where the bite is. When it gets dark, black, shiny, is where it's slick.
You can also see how Bloomquist is driving that car very straight, not getting it sideways at all compared to Jimmy Mars. Having to run the bottom, he's going to have to back that thing in the corner to keep that thing on the low line. You can see right there, pretty sideways in the middle of the corner. Bloomquist, looks like he's got a huge top wing on that car and just driving it straight.
We just saw a car down there in the bottom of the track, a real quick glimpse of it. Not sure who it was. See if we can get another look. Neil Baggett, the 21X down there at the bottom, has had some problems. That will bring out the caution flag. And your General Tire top 5 from 17th Annual Topless 100 is as follows. A lot of racing action yet to go. Stay with us, baby. We'll line them up in a moment.
I mean, you can kill somebody.
Meet the daring who face down fear behind the wheel. Dangerous drives, heavy haulers. Wednesday at 8 Eastern. Speed.
This is the information retailers don't want you to know, especially now. They don't want you to learn just how much money you've been giving away to retail markups on items you purchase for your home. All because you don't know how to buy like the insiders do at Direct Buy Club, the home improvement and furnishings club with direct insider prices.
This whole direct buy thing has been, I mean, you have to be smart to do this. I mean, once you look into everything, you do your research, you do your homework, it's a no-brainer.
It does feel good to know that what budget we do have can be basically sort of expanded. You know, we can do more with the budget we have.
There's an easier way to do it, and that way is to join Direct Buy.
Members buy top quality name brand merchandise from hundreds and hundreds of trusted manufacturers. So call the number on your screen now and we'll rush you your free visitor's pass to your local Direct Buy Club and your certificate for a free 30-day membership. This is a limited offer, so call now.
We're in Batesville, Arkansas for the 17th annual Top Cams Topless 100. Jimmy Owens out front with the 20 car. Jimmy Mars and Scott Bloomquist have been running side by side for a number of laps now.
There is Jimmy Owens, your leader. Again, the Delaware double file restart. Mars and Bloomquist, Dale McDowell there on the outside of T-Mac, Tim McGreedy, Chris Madden in the 44, the S9 of Dan Schleeper. But it's all the O-Show out in front. He will bring him once again to the stripe.
Unfortunately for Terry Phillips' 75 car, he's done nothing but go backwards here tonight. Struggling as he started off on the pole. High, low, low, high, and it looks like Bloomquist will try the bottom line down there where Jimmy Mars was making it work. You have to think that Earl Pearson Jr. was watching Jimmy Mars at some point. Will take his car back down to the bottom.
Well, it's interesting to watch Owens. I mean, he ran the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Now he goes to the top in turns 3 and 4. And with no cars in front of him, with no battle coming behind him, he's going to search around this racetrack and try and find the fastest way around. And look at that. Already half a straightaway, if not more, over second place, Scott Bloomquist.
Right at the bottom of 3 and 4, there's nothing in the middle of the track, and it looks like Jimmy Mars washes up and stays in the slick stuff down the front straightaway. Turns 1 and 2, it looks like there's a little grip down at the bottom, so it might be one of those deals where you run the bottom in 1 and 2, and the top at 3 and 4 if you have that luxury.
We mentioned the 3/8 mile semi-banked clay oval, that red clay here in Batesville, Arkansas. About 13 and a half seconds to get around. And Jimmy Owens right now working that top shelf again. Starting to see a little cushion develop, something to lean on there in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, speaking of those 13 and a half seconds, we didn't mention Jonathan Davenport, who set fast time at 13.53 seconds out here earlier in this event.
And it's his first time here at Batesville, so Davenport showed up and said, yeah, I'll pull the top off, no problem.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Now I can see where I'm going. Dan Schleeper once again down there with that S9.
Got a glimpse there of dirt late model Hall of Famer Ray Cook, John Blankenship there in the 23. That is Schleeper in the S9. Right behind him, that 44 car.
Not Earl Pearson Jr., that's the 44M of Chris Madden, who started off in 18th place, so working his way up towards the front of the pack.
He has one career Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series win, came last year at the Talladega Short Track, nicknamed Smokey.
Smokey out there making it happen right now. Schleeper's got to be happy with the way that car is performing for him.
You know, Dan Schleeper just has not had the year that he has wanted here in 2009. Trying to, you know, just gain more points and gain more knowledge. We know he's got good power underneath the hood with Pro Power. They build the engines, but just trying to get the cars to work this year, it hasn't worked out for him, so switching over to the Team Zero so far, so good.
17 car Dale McDowell has had some excellent events out here in 2009. He's definitely shown some big speed. Right now behind the 23 car. 23 car campaigned and driven by John Blankenship. That is another Team Zero car leading in Rookie of the Year points. Scott Bloomquist, built machine.
Yeah, Blankenship out of Williamson, West Virginia. He knows this place pretty well. Finished up 5th last year here in the Topless 100. And he's running right through the middle of that racetrack. So maybe his car a little bit tight, and he's trying to loosen it up by running through the middle, and it looks like trouble for Kid Smooth, Billy Moyer Jr., who finished 20th 1 year ago. Pulls into the infield, looks like his night is done. Unfortunate as the caution comes out. Car stopped on the racetrack, but Billy Moyer Jr., Kid Smooth calling this his favorite event.
Came up through the B main, won the second B main of the night. Ray Cook, looks like he's found the wall potentially, or maybe just pulled up out of the racing groove out of the way. But the 53 car, the Hall of Famer, a Masters built chassis there, has come to a stop. So a tough break for Ray Cook. We'll see if we can get him back out here in the action. Stay with us.
Notorious car lover Jay Leno takes on a project like no other.
It's a biodiesel-powered jet engine.
And puts it to the ultimate test.
Don't try this at home.
Superstar Jet Car, Sunday night at 8 Eastern, only on...
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extends the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
Do you feel the rumble in your stomach? Better hope it's your ride and not your nerves, because Bull Run returns for a brand new season. And it's tougher and more intense. If last year's run taught us anything, even the strong crumble when the pressure's on. And this year, it'll be even meaner. We got 12 new teams who think they're brave enough to take on the road. And me. With explosive new challenges, more dangerous terrain, and 200 grand in prizes at stake, you better keep one eye on the road and one in the rearview mirror. I'm pushing these teams almost 4,000 miles to see who cracks first. Then, I'll push even harder to see who survives. And when supercharged egos step over the line, I'm the one who puts them back in their place. Tempers will ignite, egos will explode, and people are gonna find out where their limits are. Think they've got the torque to get to the top? This is Bull Run. Bull Run! One hell of a ride. This February, after the truck race, exclusively on Speed.
We live in a dirty, greasy, grimy world. Not for long. Super clean. Not just clean. Super clean.
You're watching the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. It's the 17th annual Comp Cam's Topless 100, presented by Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Batesville, Arkansas, where one Mr. Mooney Star has put on a pretty good event.
Well, back in 1993 when we kind of started here, I said, I want to start some big event. My brother-in-law and I was actually partners at the time, and I said, I want to do something different. I said, let's take the tops off of them. He said, that sounds pretty cool. We thought we'd start something different, and the first year we paid $20,000 to win, and here we are 17 years later.
Now, I've also heard some of the drivers have said there might be some other topless action going on there.
Well, we have a golf tournament on Wednesday, so we start our events out early if you want to come for a week-long, I say, race and have a good time.
It's all about the fans so they can watch the drivers work here at the Topless 100.
And the girls didn't really get topless, but I was impressed with those golf shoes that they were wearing.
I didn't hear anything Mooney just said. I'm sorry.
This is a happening. It's a lot of fun. And, of course, the drivers love to come out here and be part of that. And all the money goes towards a great cause. Here we go. Once again, we'll get them restarted here at the 17th annual Comp Cam's Topless 100. So far, Owens has been the show. Kind of checks him up down there on the bottom, but still gets a good run. I thought Bloomquist might be able to drive up beside him. He does have a nice run. Can he close up the gap? Goes back down to the bottom.
Yeah, does he have a nice enough run? That is, he'll try that low line off turn 4, and no. Jimmy Owens will remain out front. Jimmy Owens took the lead from Scott Bloomquist on lap number 12. Owens now out in front, Bloomquist second. Jimmy Mars, the Iceman, runs in third.
You know, as we watch Scott Bloomquist here, he's the driver that really doesn't have a preference to run up high or run down low. He will chase it wherever the grip is where he will go. You talk about Earl Pearson Jr., seems to live down on the bottom more times than not. Maybe somebody like a Dan Sleeper, the Wild Man, loves to run the top shelf, but a Bloomquist, for whatever reason, really has no preference. He'll go wherever he needs to go, and maybe multiple times in a single lap.
Well, there is Tim McCready, the 39 on the outside part of the racetrack. Jimmy Mars down low. So it's Owens, Bloomquist, McCready. That is your top three. Dan Sleeper hanging on, looking for his second top 5 finish of the year in a brand new race car.
Sure, he'd be happy to see those types of results here, especially if he can end out the season running strong like that. Everybody running up top. Here comes the 39 car, T-Mac. Of course, his father, legendary racer, Barefoot Bob, as he works his way past Sleeper and Mars, taking over third place. Now trying to chase down Bloomquist.
And you can see McCready, you mentioned him running around the outside part of the racetrack, slick and smooth here tonight. The bottom is fast, the top is fast. But it really comes down to your car setup. If you're set up to run the top and you are locked down, you can build up momentum, but it's going to take a few more laps to pass someone who may be fast on the bottom, because, of course, that's the shortest way around.
Right now, Owens making it look easy, trying to keep that car as straight as possible, using the cushion there a little bit as he runs up high. A little further back again, the 39 car. And, you know, we talked about him a little bit earlier going up and out of the park at the Chili Bowl. I don't know that we mentioned the fact that when he landed on all fours on the other side of the fence, shattered the vertebrae in his neck. So it's been a great comeback for Tim McCready. Nice to have him out here in the race car, and, you know, just a super guy as well. We talked about it before, previous winner of this event, and now Owens, hoping he can do that.
Yeah, Jimmy Owens right there crossing the stripe here on lap 45. You see on the ticker that courtesy of E3 Spark Plugs let you know where your favorite driver is running. And it looks like Billy Moyer Jr., who came into the infield, drove back out on the racetrack. Looks like he is going to come back into the infield one more time.
Getting pretty familiar with that exit route. Struggling for tonight for whatever reason. Again, it's all about the car set up here whenever you get on a track like this, and these guys have to have their crystal ball out. They have to guess where they think this track is going to go. They first have to guess on what compound tire they think is going to work the best for them throughout 100 laps. And then, of course, they have to guess on where they think the dirt is going to go, if it's going to slick off like this, to build some grip into the car, some mechanical grip.
And it looks like the caution will come out once again here at the Batesville Speedway. So Jimmy Owens slows her down. It is for the 66 car of Bill Fry from Greenbrier, Arkansas, the 1996 Topless 100 winner.
We are just short of the halfway mark. That is your General Tire Top 5. Jimmy Owens and Scott Bloomquist still out front. Stay with us. A lot of racing yet to go. Who's going to win it all?
It's a car-crushing, high-flying extravaganza on speed. Get live Monster Jam and Supercross back-to-back. Live tonight. It's Monster Jam at 7 p.m. Eastern and Monster Energy EMA Supercross at 10 Eastern. Only on Speed.
We're going to do it like this. $5 foot long. That's not, no, it's $5 foot. Right, no, and it's $5 foot long. It's $3.
It's a 30-second commercial.
Is he directing this now? I was doing it right, wasn't I?
Build your Subway famous $5 foot long like a spicy Italian stacked your way from the bread up with the meats, cheeses, and veggies you want. Your flavors on.
$5 foot long.
Are you paying more than $1.70 a month for phone service? Then you need Magic Jack for just $19.95 a year. $19.95 a year. We are now adding over 250,000 new customers a month because we give you free local and long distance, your own phone number, voicemail, and directory assistance. Replace your phone company or add a second line with Magic Jack for just $19.95 a year. Get Magic Jack at Best Buy.
There is a constant battle escalating right on our borders. Sunday, Nat Geo puts a face to the war, shadowing the men and women.
Everybody here puts a piece of themselves out.
On the front lines against smuggling, terrorism, and illegal immigration.
This is good stuff. It's what we like to do.
It's a never-ending fight.
There's a lot of danger over here.
To protect a 2,000-mile-long line in the sand. Border Wars Special Series premiere, Sunday at 9 on National Geographic.
Back here at Batesville, Arkansas, this is the 17th annual CompCam's Topless 100 presented by Lucas Oil. Jimmy Owens has been the O show here tonight, man. He has had it out for these guys so far. A lot of racing yet to go, though. A lot of times we see the guys that come out hot and heavy early on in the race, especially these 100-lappers, just don't have what it takes at the end.
And there goes Bloomquist in that zero car trying the outside, build up that momentum down the back straightaway. Not going to be enough. He's going to take a peek to the inside of Jimmy Owens, but that 20 car will remain out in front. Jimmy going for his second Lucas Oil win of 2009, his 11th career win, if he can pull it off, and of course would be his first Topless 100 victory.
And it looked like Dan Schleber's going to pull up underneath the 39 car of Tim McCready as he tries to take over the 4th position. McCready right around the center of the turn, somehow making that work for him.
And Schleber, another one of those drivers we see move around the racetrack. Right now it seems to be that his car works the best on the bottom as we have crossed the stripe. 50 laps in the books, 50 to go at the halfway point. Jimmy Owens still in command. He took the lead from Scott Bloomquist on lap number 12.
Sleeper down there in that S9 earned his nickname, the Wild Man, for running the top shelf. Actually got up there into the wall at one time in his career, crashed badly, broke his neck, but has gotten back inside of the car, obviously, since then, and still a very, very talented racer and a very aggressive racer. About 6'4" or 5.
Yeah, a guy you don't want to mess with. Remember, we go back to Knoxville last year when Tony Stewart got in there and moved him out of the way, and I thought, uh-oh, not a good idea, Smoke. maybe Sleeper's calmed down in his elder age.
No, he has not. But the good move for Tony Stewart in that particular case was he stayed inside the car with a helmet on. So Jimmy Owens out here getting it done. You know, we were talking about setup before with these guys, and Jimmy Owens obviously landing on the mark here tonight as we go a little bit deeper in the field. Yeah, the 44, that is Earl Pearson Jr. trying to get underneath Dale McDowell for the 10th position. And EPJ, he's in a tight points battle here, trying to run down Bloomquist and Jimmy Owens as the caution comes out. And it looks like it will be for the 5 of Eric Jacobson. So the Earthshaker comes to a stop, brings out the caution. Eric Jacobson starting off in the 25th position, his first career Topless 100. This will give us a good opportunity, though, to hear from some of our drivers earlier today about going topless.
You really get a different perspective, and I think the fans get a different perspective too. I think it's something that they enjoy watching your head and where you're looking and how much your arms are moving, and you know, just they get to see a lot more. I think it's more entertainment for them.
It's better for the driver. You can see more lights in the cockpit, so you can see a little bit better. But the only thing that the driver fear is if you get upside down, there's really not much to protect you. But hopefully we won't have to worry about that.
It's a little easier to see, and it's a neat spectacle for the fans. They get a charge out of it whenever we race topless, it seems like. So it's pretty cool. As far as the cars, it will tighten it up a little bit. Sometimes these roofs deflect a little air off the rear spoilers, and you get rid of them, and it kind of gives you a little bit tighter race car, you know, more traction.
Interesting perspective, and you always get that from somebody somewhere along the way when you change something on these cars, how it will change the way they react and the setup to the vehicles. Tim McCready's saying it makes the cars a little tighter. They get a little more air on the rear spoilers, so it's pretty cool. These guys are so in tune with their vehicles and how they handle what they do that they're always paying attention to.
Yeah, what he means by that is obviously with nothing on top of him, that air just goes right along those panels all the way back to that rear spoiler, and some guys maybe like that, maybe like a little bit tighter race car.
When they say a little tighter for fans at home that might be new to this, what it really means is the car doesn't want to turn as well. They have so much rear grip it will push the car straight through the turn, so they have to take some of that rear grip out of the car.
Here we go back up front. Jimmy Owens in the 20, Scott Bloomquist still not enough momentum off turn 2 on these restarts to get by his Team Zero counterpart. As the Iceman, Jimmy Mars, in that 28M car currently runs in third now. Taking a look to the inside of Bloomer.
Blomquist has started off the last 3 restarts exactly the same way every time, and must just feel like that's all he's got for now.
Well, we talked about that inside fence, and that's something unique here at the Batesville Speedway. Is some racetracks you'll see Jimmy Mars bonsai in underneath, maybe hit that berm and keep going. Here, you got to get on the brakes and let that guy remain in that spot, because you get in that fence and it can suck you around, and then you could be big trouble after that.
Could be done for the night here, and looks like Tim McCready had a pretty good run going there on Jimmy Mars, but now has settled back into the position. And again, we'll have another caution flag come out here. Chris Wall, the 71 car, another guy that's had some moments of brilliance here in 2009, but right now he has a right rear flat. He'll have to get that changed. Jimmy Owens and Scott Bloomquist still out front. We'll get them lined back up for the 17th annual Comp Cam's Topless 100.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinions, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
Oh my God.
Meet the daring who face down fear behind the wheel. Wednesday.
If you have a hydraulic hose failure, it could be catastrophic. I mean, you could kill somebody. Weather sure changed quick. Something's gonna break. The whole truck, you feel it rocking back and forth. Steve, stop. You're gonna be wiped off the face of this earth.
Dangerous drives. Heavy haulers. Wednesday at 8 Eastern. Only on Speed.
At General Tire, there's nothing general about us when it comes to performance, ruggedness, style, toughness, traction, endurance. General Tire, the tire choice of living on the edge.
One call is all you need. R&L Carriers, a leader in the less-than-truckload motor freight industry. In the U.S. and Canada, we've got you covered. With pride in our people and pride in our performance. Available inside delivery and free liftgate service. Plus the best customer service in the industry. R&L Carriers, a carrier you can count on.
A capacity crowd here at Batesville Speedway. One of the largest crowds of all time here to come out here and watch the 17th annual Topless 100 presented by Lucas Oil Products.
Jimmy Owens is your leader. We saw some great battles for second and third between Jimmy Mars and the 28M, the 0. Your current points leader, Scott Bloomquist, the S9 of Dan Schleeper, and of course the 39 defending winner, Tim McCready.
71 car, the real deal, Don O'Neill working his way up in here now. Seen too much of him tonight, kind of picking away at it.
I think it's because he started 23rd, so Don O'Neill is working his way to the front.
Like, give me a couple minutes here, guys. You know?
Again, there goes Jimmy Mars to the inside of Bloomquist for second. These guys continue to go side by side. It could allow Jimmy Owens to check out. Just like that already, almost half a straightaway advantage as those two drivers still going at it.
Yeah, Jimmy Mars is able to hang on to that position down there in the bottom this time, where typically Bloomquist has been able to dive back down to the bottom and kind of steal the position. Mars said, nope, I'm going to hang right here. So it looks like Mars is going to take over second place.
We talked about these race cars. When they come out on the racetrack, that's the setup they have. No cockpit adjustments. The two-way radios that we mentioned are only to hear from the race director and the head scores. They'll tell them where to line up for the restarts and whatnot. But you got no spotter, you got no crew chief. You don't even have a rear view mirror to look back and see who's behind you. I mean, when you come out on the racetrack, that's what you have.
We have on occasion seen some of the crew chiefs that will get out by the wall or out by the fence and try to give them some hand signals, but short of that, no communication with anybody outside of the car.
We talked about the real deal. There he is on the outside, the 71. Don O'Neill on the inside, the 17M of Dale McDowell.
A very aggressive driver, a very passionate driver. If you ever get a chance to get an autograph from him or talk to him, you'll see it in his eyes immediately, man. When he gives you that stare, baby, he's not playing around. It's on.
And Don O'Neill will take the spot. We mentioned 20 different drivers visiting victory lane this year with the Lucas Oil Lake Bottle Dirt Series. McDowell and O'Neill each with 2 victories.
Back up to the front, Jimmy Owens out of Tennessee. Just a bit further back, there is your fast time qualifier, Jonathan Davenport, up there on the top side of the track. Oh, and he misses that by just a little bit out here in his first ever Topless 100.
Yeah, Davenport out of Blairsville, Georgia. It looks like the top of the racetrack is the place to be for that 49 car. He's running a little bit lower. We could see a little bit of rubber laid down here. And if the rubber gets laid down on the racetrack, this thing will tighten it up and it will get faster as well.
Unfortunately, we'll also turn it into a one-lane track if, in fact, that does happen.
So approaching 30 laps to go is 69 in the books. Jimmy Owens in command. There is the 20 car Bloomquist race car.
We also saw the 66 car Bill Fry, who transferred into the A main, and Tim McCready is going to slow down up by the wall. the Sweeteners Plus car with some issues there, and wondering if that right rear might possibly be flat. Can't really tell from that particular angle, but whatever the case is, he's going to pull it in, see if he can get it fixed up and back out here. And the General Tire Top 5 has changed. Jimmy Mars is up there in second place. Dan Sleeper, and how about Davenport? Stay with us. We'll come on back and re-rack them.
Do you feel the rumble in your stomach? Better hope it's your ride and not your nerves. Bull Run returns for a brand new season with explosive new challenges and 200 grand in prizes at stake. Bull Run, one hell of a ride. This February, after the truck race, exclusively on Speed.
So you got both those things for $5? $5. Can I borrow $5?
No way.
Every day on Quizno's new Choose 2 menu, get 2 big Quiznos tastes for just $5. Like an Alpine chicken Sammy and a bowl of broccoli cheese soup. Choose 2 for $5.
Save the day. Someone has to.
Some came up. I'm gonna be a little late.
24, next week on Fox.
Mr. Owen, the transmission is going to be a lot more expensive than I thought.
Really is not
Big job. It's going to take at least a week or so. You might want to consider a rental car. I mean, parts alone are going to run $1,900, and then you add $13.
It's okay, man. I've got Mogi. Free rental car and sushi with my girl at 7.
Don't let expensive repairs hold you back. Get Mogi, extended vehicle protection customized just for you. Insurance covers accidents, but what if your car breaks down? Mogi is the other half of coverage, protecting you from expensive repairs. Just take your car to a licensed repair shop and we pay the bill. It's that simple. We're not like the other guys. Mogi gives you real benefits that give you peace of mind. Visit our website and get the facts. Log on and get a real quote in writing before you buy. Cars break down. It's a fact. But with Mogi, you can keep your car and be worry-free. Call now and ask how you can save hundreds of dollars on coverage. Mogi. Life warrants more.
Don't wait. Call 1-888-783-0314. That's 1-888-783-0314.
And once again, we'll get them re-racked here and started up. 25 drivers starting off the 100-lap main event here this evening. So far, we've only had 2 leaders, Scott Bloomquist, and then it was Jimmy Owens who got around him. Scott Bloomquist, though, fell back to third, now has gotten back around the 28 car of Jimmy Mars into second place.
Seen a lot of passing. We talked about Jonathan Davenport coming from the back to the front. There is Tim McCready, the reason for our most recent caution back out on the racetrack.
Some of these guys are pretty crafty, too. If they do have an issue, they don't just pull in to fix the issue. They pull up to the top and stop the car. That brings out the caution flag, gives them a chance to get to the pits, fix something if it's fixable quickly, and get back out here without losing a lap.
So Jimmy Mars now trying to hold off the S9 of Dan Sleeper. Following him, the 71 of Don O'Neill is Bloomquist now in second solidly over Jimmy Mars. And here comes Sleeper taking a look to the inside, and just like that, the Iceman falls back to 4th spot.
Yeah, the Wildman making it look pretty easy there for a moment, but then Mars right back underneath him. Oh, man. Talk about scraping the mud off the front nose. Woo!
Wow.
Man. Pretty cool stuff right there.
Yeah, I don't think you can get any closer than that without lifting up the rear of the race car. Man, slide job city, Mars again.
Right back at him, man. Oh, they do get into it that time.
I don't think you're too thrilled. We're going to take a look at it one more time, and you can see Sleeper says, excuse me, coming through, and Mars not liking that turning left, and I have to head down to their pit post-race.
Yeah, from a distance.
Yeah. Earl Pearson Jr. there in that 44 Lucas Oil Slick Mist sponsored car, battling with Chris Madden there in the 44M, and of course Jonathan Davenport. Quick time, we mentioned first time here at the Batesville Speedway.
And we talked about Earl Pearson Jr. working his way back down to the bottom of the track, and that's where he's at. Down there where he feels comfortable. Had a lot of success down there as well. Oh, way up there close to Davenport for a moment.
And there's that. I mean, that shows the 3 lines right there. We got Madden in the middle, Davenport up top, and EPJ running that low line. And really no one's pulling away from anyone. So 3 lines here tonight that are extremely fast.
You have to be so patient. We've also mentioned that a few times here. When you run that bottom, you really have to check up, and it feels like you're going so slow, but you have to check up to be smooth. and keep those tires in the grip right down there by the wall. You've got to hug that wall.
Sometimes Earl Pearson Jr. is known for running so low, the photographers will jump out of the way. He'll high-five him as he's going by, but obviously one of the best. And we've seen him go to the top. We've seen him run the middle, but it seems like the bottom is where that 44 car is the best.
It's earned him 4 championships over the previous 4 years, the only champion this series has ever had. Of course, Scott Bloomquist doing his best to change that.
And again, Scott Bloomquist, no wins in 2009 with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. 14 top 5 finishes, 21 top 10s. Can he win the championship and not get a win? Is this how this is going to play out?
I mean, he certainly could. Obviously, you know, being in the points as it stands right now without a win, there's no reason to think that, you know, he couldn't go on to win the championship, but it is not a Scott Bloomquist season. The guy that has so many career wins, you know, averages somewhere in the 10 wins a season range, and this season, man, you know, we've mentioned it a few times, is he points racing? No doubt he's points racing, but don't think for a second he wouldn't win one if he couldn't.
So back up front, Jimmy Owens in that 20 car. Again, trying to put some cars a lap down. The 66 of Bill Fry, winner of the Topless 100 back in 1996.
Owens right in the middle of some lap traffic there, trying to keep the nose clean on that car.
We also got a glimpse there of the 88 of Wendell Wallace, finished 6th last year from right here in Batesville. The Batesville Bullet. Terry Phillips, who we mentioned, started on the pole alongside Bloomer and just has been struggling ever since the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, he's about to get lapped here after starting on the pole, so a tough night there for the 75 car. Also down on the bottom of the track is Chad Simpson in the 25 car, and he's about to go a lap down.
Yeah, another one of the handful of drivers making their first career Topless 100 start. There's Jimmy Mars again for the 4th spot, trying to hold off the real deal, Don O'Neill, in that 71.
Don picking away at it, man. He's a bulldog. He won't go anywhere.
I would have to say the Iceman is a pretty cool cat as well. I mean, it's going to take a lot to shake him up, especially when he walks in the pits here today, just winning $100 grand in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, he had a little bounce in his step, if you will.
Again, the S9 there, Dan Schleeper. Up there in that 3rd spot, so we can call that a 3-car battle now between Schleeper, Mars, and O'Neill for 3rd position. Again, lap cars there up in the mix as well, frying that 66.
Yeah, O'Neill really stuck a nose up in there right beside Mars. I thought he was going to get a good run at it. Pretty good bump right there. We'll find out if he can do that one more time, just to let him know he's there. Maybe get him to make a mistake.
I don't know if he's trying to run down Dan Schleeper to pass him or to maybe retaliate, because they were going at it a little bit there earlier.
And we'll go back up to the front one more time. Just ripping the laps off so far. Able to stay out of trouble, even though they're working their way through lap traffic now. 3 laps to go for the 20 car. Jimmy Owens trying to make it his 2nd win here in 2009. Previous win coming earlier in the year at the Ralph Latham Memorial.
And Owens really been the class of the field. Once he got by Bloomquist on lap number 12, really no one has had anything for the Newport Nightmare, running right through the middle of the racetrack. He can run the bottom, he can run the top. I mean, that thing is just bad fast, and it looks like he is going to be the man to beat here tonight as the white flag comes out. 1 lap to go for Jimmy Owens.
It'd be his 2nd crown jewel event of the season as well. No reason to believe he's not going to win this one. Absolutely no pressure on him whatsoever. Just drive a smooth, clean lap, and he'll bring home a big one, baby. $40,000 on the line here at the 17th annual Comp Cams Topless 100 presented by Lucas Oil.
Wow. Dominating fashion. First time he wins the Topless 100.
Excellent job. Jimmy Owens getting the job done here tonight. When we come back, we'll talk to our winner. Don't you go anywhere. I guarantee you, Jimmy Owens is looking forward to it.
Tonight, it's a car-crushing high-flying extravaganza on Speed for the first time ever. Live Monster Jam and Supercross back-to-back. Gravedigger leads Monster Jam into Atlanta for a no-holds-barred rampage. Then James Tony Stewart, Chad Reed, and the Rebels of Supercross bring anarchy to the season opener in Anaheim. Live tonight, it's Monster Jam at 7 p.m. Eastern and Monster Energy ELA Supercross at 10 Eastern, only on Speed.
Next to your car's engine, your transmission is the second most important component of your car. If it's not properly maintained, your car may not shift properly. By adding Lucas Transmission Fix to your transmission, it cleans and lubricates sticking valves for proper shifting, renews worn bands to stop slipping, stops most seal leaks, will not void new car warranties, contains no harmful solvents. Lucas Transmission Fix. It works.
There is a constant battle escalating right on our borders. Sunday, Nat Geo puts a face to the war, shadowing the men and women.
Everybody here puts a piece of themselves out.
On the front lines against smuggling, terrorism, and illegal immigration.
U.S. Border Patrol, pull up there!
This is good stuff. That's what we like to do.
It's a never-ending fight.
There's a lot of danger over here.
To protect a 2,000-mile-long line in the sand. Border Wars Special Series premiere, Sunday at 9 on National Geographic.
Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series has been brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. Made in America, sold to the world. Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. And by K&N, the world's best air filter. The Newport Nightmare climbs out of the car after earning his first ever Topless 100 win, second win of the season with the series, and he gets it done here tonight. All right, our race recap had Scott Bloomquist leading early, but eventually it would be teammate Jimmy Owens in the 20 car who would get around McDowell, and eventually Scott Bloomquist.
Yeah, he would use the C9 to Steve Casebolt as a pick, work to the inside, and take the lead over Scott Bloomquist. A great win for Jimmy Owens. Let's talk to him.
Showtime. Topless 140 grand richer. Boy, I tell you what, lap traffic, you played it well. This car was balanced pretty good.
I mean, we got an awesome car. Scott builds a good car. My crew and everything's worked their butt off all week to get this Reese Monument car up front. And, you know, they had it going good for me. All I had to do was drive it. You know, we started off good and, you know, was able to get by Scott. He had a good car and was able to pass him and make our way on up through there, you know. You know, it's a killer race. It's my mother's birthday and my aunt's birthday, so it's for those guys.
Okay, guys, there you go, Jimmy Owens.
Here's a look at your R&L carriers. A-main results. Of course, Jimmy Owens, Scott Bloomquist, followed by Jimmy Mars, Dan Schleifer, and Don O'Neill round out the top five.
Yeah, second top five of the year for Dan Schleifer. Good run for the Wisconsin driver. You see Wendell Wallace back there in 15th. Some drivers having some trouble coming back out. Tim McCready in the 39. Billy Moyer Jr., he made a few pit stops here tonight. Ended up in 22nd.
Let's go back down trackside and talk to our points leader.
Scott, it's hard to be happy when you run second. You had 5 cars in the top 10 now for the company.
Yeah, you know, we were close. This is a second run on this new car, and you know, early I thought he might have been being a little aggressive, and I thought I didn't want to abuse my tires, so I just kind of let him go. And then we picked it up a little, and really, you know, not that I could have passed him, but that lap car kind of got in between us there, and the track started rubbering up, and you know, we just had a hard time doing any passing after that. But.
And you're super clean. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series point standings has Scott Bloomquist above Earl Pearson Jr. now by 220 points.
And a pretty tight points battle for second. Jimmy Owens in third, just 5 points behind EPJ, McDowell, and Don O'Neill rounding out your top 5.
Another crown jewel in the books here for 2009. Hope you enjoyed watching all the action from the 17th annual Comp Cams Topless 100 presented by Lucas Oil. For Randy LaJoy and Rob Klepper, I'm Ken Stout. We'll see you next time in the dirt.